Hello Year 7s, this is a little video to try and add a little bit more interesting stuff to your page. This is the page we've got so far. I've moved mine from my N downloads directory, which is where yours are all stored at the moment, and you probably want to move them into Year 7 into your computing folder perhaps, or HTML folder in this case is what I've made. So here's my page, it's called My First Page. Remember what we talked about, open with Chrome. There's the page, I'll close the other one, and you can have a little look at it. That's what we've added to it so far. And this is the image I included, a gherkin as per request from one of my Year 7s, and that's the folder we're working in. Remember, we want to edit with Notepad++, and this is the page that everyone started from. If you remember what we talked about before, we talked about that everything inside the body, this section, is what you see on the page. Everything you see inside the head is not visible. Well, I suppose you do see the page title, it's up the top in the little bar at the top, but everything inside the body is what you see. And what we're going to be trying to do is take this little menu and some other things and put it on the left, so we're going to have a kind of sidebar, and we're going to move all this page content slightly over to the right. So that's quite, there's a few steps to do, but we can do it and it's not too hard. So the first thing we're going to learn about are things called dividers. And in fact, I want this little menu bar part, this little part, that doesn't necessarily need a comment. I just put the comment there so it makes it easier to read. And we're going to put it inside something known as a divider. So that, in order to put a divider in, we write div, we need to write id, we're going to give it a name now that goes inside the id. I'm going to call this sidebar. The name doesn't really matter, you can give it any name you like, but for the time being I'm just going to call it sidebar. We choose where the end of the sidebar is going to be, which is going to be below these little links, which is me and my friends. So I press enter a few times, and it doesn't matter, I can have as many returns in there as I want, and here I just write /div to say that the end of the divider is here. So this is going to be the sidebar. I'm probably going to push, well let's just see how this looks to start with. So I'm going to have a little hyperlink that says me, and then one that says my friends inside that divider called sidebar. We're then going to put another one for the rest of the page content, so maybe all of this. So let's put a divider for that one as well. Let's say div id equals, what will I call the main section of the page? How about main? Doesn't really matter. And I have to say where I want it to finish now. It's going to finish just before the end of the body, so it has to go before the end of the body. So what do? Exactly the same, doesn't matter if it's here or here. I'll just put it there, /div. So that's the end of that. I'll save that, go back to my page and refresh. Nothing has changed yet, but this has been put inside a divider, and so has this. How long have we got left? We've got 2 minutes. The next bit is we are going to go inside our head, not inside the title, just after the title line, and we're going to include a style sheet. So we write style as a tag, and it will close it straight away. /style, and this is where we're going to put how we want everything on the page to look. And there are two things we want to stylize, the sidebar and the main, and this is how we do that. We write #sidebar, and we're going to use the curly brackets, the little squiggly ones that look a bit like that. And we're also going to stylize the other one, which is called #main. And we're going to put the squiggly brackets for that one. And now let's say what we want to do. We're going to put it in between these squiggly brackets for the sidebar. And the only one we want, well, there's a couple I'm going to put in, but to start with I'm just going to say float, colon, not semicolon, left, and that needs a semicolon on it. And we'll do exactly the same command inside the main divider. So we'll just say that, float left. Doesn't matter, as long as it goes inside squiggly brackets, both of those will work. I can put lots of things in, and I'll just save this so you can see what this now looks like. Let's go back to the page. You can see that it's put me and my friends now on the left, and this is on the right. We can start to do quite clever things now, including changing colours. I might set the background colour. Notice it's the American spelling. I'll use pink. Obviously we're going for horrible colours. We can put loads and loads and loads of properties like the colour of the font and things like that. And maybe I'll set the background colour of this section. Or let's set that to yellow. Semicolon. Save it and refresh.